this is Beste, and this video is going to be what I've knit in 2024. To sum it up, I have 9 garments. One of them is missing sleeves, but we'll get into that. And I've knit 1 pair of socks and 1 Sophie scarf. Needless to say, I'm not an accessory person. I like to knit garments mostly, and also when I counted my garments, it felt like I didn't knit many items. But I want to say, like, knitting has ups and downs. If you feel like me, I have started many projects that didn't work out, and I did waste a lot of hours on those projects. So if you feel like you didn't knit enough garments like me, you're not alone. But yeah, let's get into what I've knit. So the first finished object of 2024 was the Sophie scarf. I knitted this with leftover yarn from my Ingrid sweater. It turned out a little short, like I can't wrap it around twice, but this is how it looks. It's still cute tied like this. I think I'm gonna be honest, I didn't use this a whole lot, but that's okay. It's just really simple accessory. I really like it. So the second finished object was the sweater number 9. What happened with this was I first casted on the Lume sweater by Starry Nordland, and I couldn't figure it out, so I wanted a win. So that's why I casted on this very basic raglan jumper. Let me put it on. As you can see, there's a slight issue with this sweater, hence why I've never, no, that's a lie, I only wore it once out. It feels like this neckline is choking me. It's too high up, it's double folded, so it's really you know. So what happened was I knitted the neckline as required in the pattern, and then I worn it, and like it came up to like here. It was so long, it was surpassing my chin basically, and then I decided to sew it down, but it is still too high. Like, is it me or is it the pattern? Was it the gauge? I don't remember my gauge, but something is off. Either I have a very short neck or my gauge was off. I'm not sure. I need to perform sweater surgery on this, but I've been putting it off. But now that I think about it, I never wear it, so if I mess it up, it's not gonna be an issue. I can just reclaim the yarn. I think this year I'm gonna go for sweater surgery for the first time. So after that, I picked up Lume back again, and we did it this time. So let me put it on. I'm gonna be honest, I was inexperienced to knit this. This was my first color work sweater. Also, it was like the 3rd or 4th pattern that I ever followed, so I didn't have much experience, and I still did it somehow. I didn't even know about, like, I only knew about catching floats, but I didn't know about colored dominance, and somehow I got it right. Yeah, this pattern is, I think it could be your first colorwork sweater. I don't think it's that complicated, but there are a few places where I had to catch floats. I don't remember where, but like, you don't really catch floats in these simple parts, but I think in the flower part where there's like gaps, I did catch floats, but it wasn't like I was catching floats the whole time. And yeah, I think the pattern is really simple. Everything is charted, so you don't have to like read a lot of things. That's nice. And um so I know there's stigma around circular yoke sweaters, but I think this is one of my favorite fitting sweaters. The one thing I don't like about this also is the fact that the neckline, I think this needs short rows. I'm gonna be honest. It does have short rows after the yoke, but I think it needs after the ribbing as well, after the neckline, because again, this is very close to my neck. Sometimes it feels like it's choking me, but it's so gorgeous that like I'll put up with it. And I think this project is what I'm proud of the most that I've ever knitted. Like, yeah. This, and currently I'm knitting the Dagmar jacket. This and the Dagmar jacket, my favorites. So yeah. After I was done with figuring out color work, I wanted to knit my first sock. Also, I wanted to try hand-dyed yarn for the first time. So I'm gonna show you my first pair of socks, but I've worn them quite a few times and I was wearing them last night. I kind of like tried to dust it off a little bit, but I'm sorry if they seem messy. But these are my first pair of socks. I knitted this with Feza Points. It's a Turkish hand-dyed yarn brand. They're kind of making synthetic yarns right now, which I'm not really into, but they used to have some cool yarns like this. And the pattern I followed was Florence Miller's Petal Drop socks, but it's a lace sock, but I omitted the lace and just followed the stitch counts and stuff, and I came up with this beautiful sock, and I love them. I knitted them with circular needles with magic loop, and not much to say about it. It's nice, but I want to point out I don't like knitting accessories, including socks. After this, I knitted one pair of, not a pair, a single sock with DK weight sock yarn. Didn't knit the second one, and then I tried to design my own sock with a slip stitch cable pattern, and I didn't even finish the first sock. I'm not a sock person. But the cabled ones, I want to try knitting a cabled sock this year, and I have a pattern in mind. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Here is the project that is missing sleeves. I actually knit one sleeve, but it was too tight, so I had to frog it, and that's what made me give up on this project. I swear I will get back to it and I will knit the sleeves, but this is my sweater number 15. It is just gorgeous. It really is. Let me put it on for you. So yeah, this is my sweater number 15 that is missing sleeves. We can count this as a vest. I'm gonna count this as a finished object because I wasted so many hours on this that I don't want to say like this is a 2025 project. No. But yeah, this is so gorgeous. It's my first cabled project, my first time cabling, and the thing that I love the most about this pattern is the fact that this cable continues down the neckline like this. You know when like some designers put a band of stockinette around cabled projects? I don't like that. this is what I like. This pattern is really simple. I used Lamia Angora and Feza Kid Mohair for this, and I love the color. I love icy blues. I love baby blues. I'm not sure if it goes well with my new hair color, but yeah. The one issue I remember about this pattern is the neckband. I did the neckband 2 times. The first one, it came out really large and it was sitting like this, and then I picked up less stitches, like much less, and now it looks like this. But somehow the back of the neck of the neckband, it is like sitting really high. I don't know what is causing that, but that's that on that. Other than that, this is a really simple, nice pattern. I tried a different bind off that I don't really like. I think it was called the someone's twisty bind off. Maybe Lori's twisty bind off. I don't want to lie, I don't remember, but it was the one where you like twist the needle while binding off. Yeah, this was my sweater number 15. I am gonna get back on it quite soon, I hope. So the last sweater of the season is a test knit for Ktoegika. This is the Basically Perfect sweater. I'll put it on. Isn't the color just gorgeous? Yep. When I posted this on Instagram, a lot of people messaged me and said that like this color, like this like is my color, this really suits me, and I agree. But back then I had my natural hair, which is really dark brown. I was afraid that it was not gonna look the same when I dyed my hair copper, but it still looks really good. Still looks really good. So this was a test knit, my second ever test knit, but I don't count the first one as a test knit because it was like, it was really laid back and not really a test knit. There was no group chat or anything. I just messaged the person on Instagram. But this was my first real test knit for Ktoegika, and this is a really basic drop shoulder sweater, and I really like the fact that the neckline isn't choking me. This is my kind of neckline. And I used Super Lamb Special from Nako. I also used this yarn from for my lume, I forgot to mention. By the way, if I forget mentioning anything, you can ask me in the comments if you have a specific question about a specific pattern or the colorway of a yarn. You can just comment down below and I will answer all of them. So yeah, this is my last sweater that I knitted in the winter, and now we are on to the camisoles and tees and all that summery stuff. Yeah, the first camisole is the square neck camisole by Garnock Slicked. I used a cone yarn for this that was a mix of linen and cotton. I don't think if you can tell, but this fits me really tight. It used to not. I put it in the washer thinking that nothing would happen because it's just linen and cotton. Like, what could go wrong? Wrong. I don't know if you could call this felting, but like it got quite smaller, and now I can put it on, but putting it, like taking it off, I can't take it off. I struggle a lot. So I don't know what went wrong, but I have a feeling that linen becomes it shrinks when it's blocked, because I have another linen garment that I will show, and I didn't put it in the washer, but I washed it before hand washing. Before hand washing, it was fitting a bit looser, and then I washed it, and then it was like form fitting, I felt like. So I feel like linen shrinks. I have that feeling. But yeah, this was my first ever time knitting a summer. Wait, was this the first, or was I started this one first? But my first finished summer garment was my ranunculus. But this is my first baby in my eyes, and this is really simple. Start with straps, knit the back, and then knit the front, join it around, do some decreases after you reach the full bust. Just simple camisole, you know. And I will be knitting another one this summer, next summer, with my leftover cotton merino from Knitting for Olive. I'm extremely sad that this shrunk, but it's okay. So the ranunculus, I think this is one of my most worn garments, including all of my sweaters, because in the summertime I would just put this on, put on a pant or shorts, and just call it a day and leave the house, because I feel like this yoke on its own is like a statement piece. You don't really need to do too much if you're wearing this. Some people have told me that they think the ranunculus looks too traditional for them. I'm here to change your mind. It's really cute, and I think you should knit it. Also, the yoke is like, I feel like this is my fastest knit ever. I think it took like 4 or 5 days to finish the whole thing. The yoke takes a few hours to make. It's a really quick project. If you want a quick win, if you want to get your knitting mojo back on, you should knit a ranunculus. That's my advice. And I went for the wide neckline option. Oh, I used knuckle denim for this. One thing I would change in the future is the raglan increases. As you can see, she has you do a different type of increase, and this increase leaves you with like enlarged stitches and like holes around them. I don't really like that. I am not gonna lie, I kind of have OCD a little bit, and uneven stitches stress me out. So for the next ranunculus that I'll make, I'll just make one right, make one left, like regular raglan increases. And yeah, this is my ranunculus, and let's move on. So this is my Ophelia blouse by Starcrossed Knits, and this is the garment that I mentioned that I knitted with linen, which kind of shrunk a little bit. It's not where I can't wear it or like struggle taking it off. It's like a cardigan anyways. It's easy to put on. But the sleeves, I made the sleeves a little tight, and then after blocking it was even tighter. So that's where I kind of realized that linen shrunks a little bit. So yeah, this pattern it's kind of a drop shoulder. You start with the back panel, and then you do the front panels, and then join the front parts and the back. It's really simple. obviously the star of the show is the lace edges, which are super like romantic, I would say. I wore this quite a few times this summer. We went to Cyprus in the summer and I wore this a lot there. So it was really hot in Cyprus. We went in like July or August. It was like the hottest climate that I ever experienced, and this was wearable. So linen got your back in summer. I would highly suggest knitting with linen, but just keep in mind that it like shrinks a little bit or maybe that's my experience like that. Just let me know in the comments if you think linen shrinks. And what else to say about this? This was a cone yarn, which was 100% linen. It was my first time knitting with black, but it was summertime. It was sunny all the time. The sun was setting really late, so I didn't have any problems. But right now, I'm knitting a beanie for my brother, which is dark blue, and I can't see. It's so hard to see, but I knitted this in summertime, so there was no struggle with it. But I feel people who don't want to knit with black yarn. So yeah, it's starting to get dark, so I'm so sorry about the lighting. But this is my mixed rib cami by Florence Miller. This was knitted with cotton merino from Knitting for Olive in the shade Soft Mint. I have to say this is my favorite summer garment. Maybe because it took so long, because it's made with light fingering weight yarn. Also, the twisted rib, it was such a hustle, but it was so worth it. I think this is one of my favorite camisole designs that I have ever saw. Like, this is just, I want to say, people say this is bra friendly. I mean, kind of, but when I move, my strap starts to show. I don't mind that, but if it's something that you mind, I don't think there is other than the square neck camisole, your bra strap will show at some point, I feel like. But you can just fix it, tuck it back in, no big deal. And yeah, this is also similar to a drop shoulder construction where you start with the back and then knit the straps and then knit down, join in the round, do some decreases. Decreases on camisoles are my favorite thing to do. It's so satisfying. The garment starts getting smaller and smaller, and then every round takes less time. I love that. So yeah. This is the June bug top by Nats Record on Instagram. This was also a test knit. It was my first time knitting a made to measure pattern. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little stressful to like do your own calculations and like figuring out your stitch count, because I got used to just following graded patterns, but this turned out really cute. This was actually a short cap sleeve pattern, but I modified it to have bell sleeves, so did increases at the bottom middle of the sleeve quite frequently, so we got these huge romantic sleeves that I love. And this is a simple raglan sweater, as you can see. I used Lanoso Alara Mega for this, and actually I wasn't gonna pick this color because I was like, this is like too out there for me. I'm into like browns, beige, greens and stuff. but my local yarn shop lady convinced me that this color was gonna look great on me, and she was so right. Thank you. I really like this color, and this yarn is 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, I think. And yeah, those were all of the patterns or all of the garments that I made this year. And I want to show you a garment that I would finish if everything went well. I want to show you my dogmer jacket that is missing sleeves because my heart is aching that I can't call this a 2024 garment because I had to restart this 3 times. I'm pretty sure it will be finished by now if all of those didn't happen. So let me put it on for you to see. Just look at this. I am a little sad that this isn't finished yet. I really want to wear it, but I managed to snuck in another test knit, so this is why I'm not finishing it quickly. It's been over 2 months since I casted this on for the 3rd time, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. If you feel like me, like you have not done your best this year, it's okay. Some people, they only knit, like they're not doing anything else, they're just knitting, and that's okay. That's my dream. But me, I am preparing for a big exam that I have to take to become a teacher for the government, and I don't have time to knit. Basically, I'm either studying or sleeping because I'm tired from studying. So that's how it is. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had an amazing year, and I hope 2025 brings you a lot of joy, happiness, and knitting time. Because that's what we want from life. See you in my next video.